Hi guys, welcome to Silver Screen Movies Recapped. Today, we are going to discuss a 2018 Indian psychological horror story, Tumbar. Warning, watch out for spoilers. Story starts with a man telling his son about an eons-old myth about the goddess of prosperity. The goddess is the creator of all gods, and was the provider of all crops and gold. However, she was most fond of her firstborn, Hostar, who, driven by his greed, stole all gold of the goddess. Then he was attacked by the other gods, when he tried to steal the crops. Eventually, he was saved by the goddess, and was cursed that he was never to be worshipped or even named. The man also explains why Hostar's name is never found in the ancient scriptures and folklores. Story continues, as the ancestors of the narrator started worshipping Hostar, and built a temple for him in the village of Tumbar. The wrath of other gods has been on Tumbar ever since. The narration concludes with a hint of why the temple for Hostar was built, and how the curse became a boon for people of Tumbar. Scene changes to sometime in 1918, as a woman in red is seen to enter a temple. Then we see the woman indulging in some sort of sexual conduct with a priest of the temple. The woman is scared that she is late to feed someone. She also reminds the priest of the gold coin promised to her, as we see the idol of Hostar in the temple. We see two kids running along a field towards their home. They wait for their mother at the door as they get drenched in rain. They are also scared about feeding that person, as we heard before. The kids enter their home. We see the older brother cooking a meal. The younger one asks about how to feed that person, as none of them has ever done it before. Both are scared that the person might wake up. The older one tells the younger, Sadashiv, to feed and hands him the food. He walks back being scared, as Sadashiv approaches the room. Their mother, the woman we saw before, hurriedly comes to Sadashiv, and snatches away the food. The woman cooks the food in a different way, and steadily approaches the room. We see her cutting the nails of something, which is tied by steel chains. Then we see the older kid, Vinayak, shaving his mother's head, and indulged in a conversation regarding the gold coin, which she was to receive from the priest. She slaps him, and reveals that the priest is indeed the kid's father. Vinayak says that unless they are given the gold coin, they will not feed the person. He knows that no one else in the village will be brave enough to do that. They hear strange sounds coming from that room. The mother picks up an axe, and timidly approaches the room. That something or someone in the room screams of being let go, and it stops as the woman scares it, saying, Hostar will come if it doesn't stop. We understand that the creature inside is scared of the name Hostar, and it goes to sleep once the name is uttered. In next scene, the priest back at the temple is struggling for life, and eventually dies as the last rituals are being performed. The woman sees that, and runs towards their home with her kids. The woman plans of leaving Tumbar village with her kids after dinner. We learn from their conversation that something or someone they're all scared of is the great-grandmother of the priest. Vinayak is adamant that the age-old woman would know about the treasures of the temple. His curiosity is abruptly stopped by his mother, as she says they will leave for Pune at dawn. That afternoon, the two brothers are talking outside their home, as Sadashiv leans on from a tree. Sadashiv falls, and Vinayak rushes to him, only to find him unconscious upon hitting his head on a rock. He screams for their mother to come. His mother takes injured Sadashiv to a nearby doctor, and tells Vinayak to feed the old grandmother. Sadashiv dies on the way. That night, Vinayak alone approaches the locked room, as he hears sounds coming from it. The old hag has woken up, and provokes Vinayak to come into the room, to find treasure. Vinayak enters the room, and the witch tells him to put the light away. We see her face for the first time, plowed through by nails. She promises to tell about the treasure, in exchange of food, or Vinayak himself. Vinayak runs to find food, seemingly confused, leaving the door open. The witch comes out and chains Vinayak's leg. She drags him across the floor, and tries to eat him alive. Vinayak somehow saves himself, by screaming the name of Hostar. The mother comes back, and Vinayak learns that his brother is dead. Vinayak and his mother runs away on a boat. However, Vinayak is still not convinced if he should. He keeps telling his mother about going back for the treasure. His mother hands him a gold coin, and tells him to shut quiet. Vinayak is seen not happy with just one coin, and thinks he should go back for more. He is made to swear by his mother that he will never return to Tumbar for the greed of gold. 15 years later, we see grown-up Vinayak come back to his home in Tumbar. He finds that his great-grandmother is still alive, and a tree has grown out of her body. Her heart is still beating, but she can barely speak. He shows great rejoice, as he thinks he can find the gold now. The witch tells Vinayak about the treasure, but warns him not to pursue it. She requests him to burn her, and give her freedom from the curse. She somehow got the curse, while pursuing the treasure. Vinayak picks the lock of the temple, and enters even after warnings from the witch. Days pass, as he finds nothing, until he stumbles upon the entrance to the core of the temple. It leads to the womb of the goddess, towards endless gold. Vinayak has finally managed to collect some gold, however the movie doesn't show us exactly how. He comes back, and burns the witch in his old home. Vinayak returns to Pune. We see him in his daily life, as he greets his wife upon returning. In the next scene, Vinayak offers a priest a gold coin, in order to waive his debts, but tells him nothing regarding whereabouts of the coin. He further asks whether he can sell 3 more of such gold coins. We see Vinayak going back to that old temple and bring back some more gold coins. The daily life of Vinayak has improved, as he is shown to have purchased expensive articles for himself. He is a father now, and a well-known money lender in his village. The priest, who deals money with Vinayak, is shown to be under pressure from the British to renew his opium license. He offers Vinayak a woman in exchange for some money. Vinayak's wife finds out, but he saves himself by calling the woman a maid. Vinayak finds out from the woman that she was sent to him to keep him busy. He understands the plan of the priest. One day, the priest is shown to be at the door of the Hostar temple. Vinayak has followed the priest and quietly observes his moves. He acts as if he doesn't know about the priest. He leads the priest to the core of the temple, knowing that only he knows the secret. The priest finds his way to the core of the temple, but gets scared seeing the walls move. The priest sees a container. He timidly tries to open it, but only finds a food doll inside. He hears something above him, but gets snatched away before he could do anything. Vinayak, knowing exactly what happened, now enters the womb of the goddess himself. He finds the priest being eaten alive by the walls. The priest murmurs something, and is shown to be in a similar state as Vinayak's grandmother was. The priest has been cursed. Vinayak has created a barrier around him. He lures the monster of Hostar by a wheat-made food doll for the monster to eat. He toys with the monster, knowing it cannot come within the barrier because of the curse of the other gods on him. It is shown for the first time how Vinayak has been collecting the gold coins. He lures the monster towards the food and chases him for the gold coins kept behind his back in a loincloth. He collects as much gold coins as he can and leaves the core before Hostar can catch him. He then manages to come out and close the casket, locking the monster inside the core. We cut to a scene set in the year 1947, 14 years later. We see old Vinayak still trying to collect gold coins by tricking the monster. But he is not sure how long he can manage to do so. His son has now grown up and is shown to practice some sort of rope maneuver instructed by his father. Vinayak has been keeping the woman, brought by the priest, as his mistress. Being unable to collect gold coins due to his old age, Vinayak decides to take his son to Tuambar. Their conversation during the journey reveals Vinayak was the man narrating the eons-old myth at the beginning of the movie. He teaches his son how to prepare the food for Hostar. Vinayak takes his son to the core of the temple and teaches him why the monster cannot come close to them, as Hostar is scared of raw wheat. His son asks, what will happen if the monster bites someone? Vinayak replies that the person will be cursed, just like his grandmother. Vinayak also shows the priest's cursed body on the wall. This time, Vinayak only planned to train his son. But his son reveals that he brought food for Hostar behind Vinayak's back, resulting in waking up the monster. Vinayak saves his son and jumps to the rope to get out. His son, however, goes back to collect gold coins from the monster's loincloth. They somehow manage to escape the core. Vinayak slaps his son profusely for bringing food for the monster behind his back. They go back to Pune after collecting the coins. At their home, Vinayak shows his son his collection of gold coins from the monster over the years. One night, Vinayak is in a fist fight with his son, who mistreated the mistress. He tells Vinayak amidst the fight that they should be looking for the loincloth of the monster, instead of taking a few coins per journey. He suggests taking more than one food for the monster to eat, so they can get more time stealing the gold coins. Vinayak seems on board with the plan. Vinayak and his son reach the temple with their plan, and prepare more food for the monster. They enter the core and create the boundary. Vinayak takes 2 food dolls into his hands, but to his utter shock, finds the monster multiplying to the number of food dolls. His son, not knowing what's happening behind him, proceeds to bring out more food. The monster continues to multiply rapidly. They are trapped inside the womb, surrounded by the monsters. There seemed to be no chance of escape. Vinayak, finding no other option, decides to sacrifice himself to save his son. He straps himself with a bunch of food dolls to lure the monsters towards him. The monsters try to follow him, but die while crossing the wheat barrier made by them at the entrance. Vinayak's son somehow manages to escape the core of the temple. He notices something beside him. Vinayak has been bit by the monsters, and has now been cursed, just like his grandmother and the priest. Vinayak tells his son to take the loincloth, which he managed to snatch from the monster. His son, understanding what has happened to his father, burns him to save him from his misery. He walks out of the temple, never to return again. Subscribe to watch more videos like this. If you like our channel, subscribe and turn on notifications. Also comment below, how much did you like this story? See you guys in the next video.